Alright, so I've had a little trouble around the internet finding exactly what it is that I was looking for various things. So this is actually my first video, so we'll see how this goes. What I want to cover today is, how to set up your clubs. So the idea of this is I've probably played Golf Plus for 2, maybe 3 months now. I've had to learn a lot of things on my own. So one of the biggest things that I had to learn was how to tune the clubs, to get them just right. So from what I can tell you, I went to the range, and here's what I would suggest that you do. Right, I like to start with a mid iron, right? So we'll take 7-iron's a good choice. 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there could work. So what we want to do is we want to go to the settings, go to the swing. We got our 7-iron over here. And when the game starts out, your spin biasing direction will be set to neutral. Forget about the power systems for now. I'll cover that in a different video. But the first thing we want to do is, let's get out of this real quick now that we got those to neutral. So what you want to do is you want to find a good swing, right? You want to find a good swing, right? This is not a full swing. Like if you equate it to a real golf swing, it's probably more like a half swing. So the last thing you want to do is pull it all the way up and then, try and come through like a real golf swing. That doesn't really work well in the game. It's hard to control things. If you play golf, you've played golf and you got a swing that you like, do about half that, right? So, don't try and change anything too crazy. Just do a good swing, right? Something you can repeat over and over and over again, right? What you don't want to do is get in the habit of getting in the game and changing the swing. Now, as you get better, you might can do things like, open up the clip face a little bit to do a fade, close it down to hit it low, maybe draw. There's a lot of things that you can start to learn to do once you get a pretty good solid shot. So even on amateur, like the first round I played, I shot like 25 over, right? First round I ever played, right? Now I'll probably average around 65. So, you're not going to find me at the very top of the leaderboards. I'm a casual player, maybe once or twice a week. But what I'm trying to do is get the game to a point where it's fun, and you have the ability to go out and shoot a low round. So like my low round is a 60. I've done that once, right? So things were just kind of clicking during that round, and it was great. So when it comes to tuning your club, start this way, right? Set up to it, pick a target. I'm gonna pick. Let's say, since it shows up, let's pick that 164 yard marker, right? So I'm going to set up to where I think that the yard marker is, right? Where you're actually aimed is less important, only because what you want to do is you want to tune the golf club to where you feel comfortable and where it looks like you're aiming. So, regardless of where I'm actually aiming, I think I'm aimed right at that 164 yard marker. So I'm just going to reach back. I'm just going to swing, and I'm going to hit it right at the marker, right? Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Now, I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to swing again. Okay, that's a little right. It's fading a little bit. Okay, I'm going to hit another ball. Alright, a little to the right, fading a little bit. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get consistent, right? Trying to get consistent, right? Pull that one a little left. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to feel on our normal swing, the swing that we like to do, what the ball typically does, right? Okay, now, when I first started playing, maybe I had a little different swing, but this is what was happening a lot, right? So I would get up, I would aim at the target, and I would do something like that. That was my pretty consistent shot. So I get up here, do my normal swing, get up there, I would hit it out to the right, it would usually fade. All right, So you can see if I'm at the point where I'm consistently hitting it to the right. Now I have a club attachment that I use. But if you don't have a club attachment, it doesn't really matter. What you're trying to do is you're trying to pick, and you're trying to see what you do, right? So I got a little bit of fade on that. It goes out to the right. Don't worry about the distance. All right. Swing a little harder to get a little more distance on it. All right, so I swung a little harder. You can see the fade's a little more pronounced, right? But that's probably closer to the normal swing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to change my swing because I have a swing I'm comfortable with. So I'm going to go to the swing. Here's what I'm going to do. It's going out to the right. So let's start with, say, we'll call it 20, we'll say 25%, somewhere in there. Actually, we'll leave the spin bias alone for now. All right, so we got a 24-degree pull on it. So I'm going to hit that same type of shot. Okay, you can see that pulls it back. All right, still going a little right there. Okay, it's not quite as far right. Okay, so it might take 10, 20 balls to figure out what your normal swing is. Right, so if you're still going out to the right, okay, and if it's consistent, like if this is how you like to swing, don't change the way you like to swing, let's do it that way. So you can see it's still going a little to the right, but not as bad as it was before, and it's got a little bit of fade on it. So let's do this. Let's come in here, let's go to our swing. Let's do the direction pull. Okay, let's try 43, and then let's go to we'll go to 36% draw. All right, we'll do kind of heavy here. So now I put that same swing on it. Right, see, not as far right, and doesn't have as much fade on it. Right, that's just a tad bit of fade. So again, what you're trying to do is swing normal. Right, still a little bit of fade there, a little bit right of the target. Okay, pulled that one a little bit left, but see, don't rely on any one shot, right? Let's hit, a bunch of balls. Right? Still a little bit of fade. Now, you may like that, right? It's all a personal preference. But as you can see, when I'm going out there, I'm not getting anywhere near close to that rock like I did, right? But you can kind of see the pattern I got going on here, right? I'm still out to the right of my target. Still got a little bit of fade on it. That shot's not too bad. But what you want to do is you want to get to where when you put your nice normal, this is how I swing every time swing, that's the result you want. Now to get that result right there, I aimed a little bit left just to kind of show you what we're talking about. But go back to the normal swing. All right, we can still going a little right. Not as much fade. So let's try this. So I'm going to go back to my swing. I'm going to do the draw bias a little more. Let's say... we got 49. Let's see. We'll do... I like a little draw mine. Let's stick with... Let's do 57% draw and see what that does. And then we'll do about a 60% pull. All right. Let's see where that gets us. So now, with that same swing I've been doing, okay, that went a little left, but you can also see the fade's gone on that. Right? So same swing I've been used to. Okay, there's a pretty good one. There's not really any draw on that, not really any fade. It's pretty straight. Okay? So again, once I think I've got it tuned in, I'm probably going to want to hit 10, 20 balls, right? right? And you're not trying, and you know, you're not going to be perfect every time. If you could drop it right on the flag, you know, you'll every time you'll be right up at that leaderboard. But again, you know, hit a bunch of balls. I felt my body turn on that one, so I'm not too worried about the one-offs. Okay, that felt like the swing I'm used to. And that's gonna drop right on top of it. Okay, and again, same thing. I'm just gonna hit. Okay, that one a little right. Okay, that one a little left. Now, what I haven't been doing and what I like to do in my swing is I like to keep my left arm straight. In a regular full golf swing, that's almost impossible, but it's a really big help in Golf Plus. So you want to only take it back as far as you can take it with your left arm straight. That's what I use. See, that's right on top of it. And just in case you're wondering why, you know, why I picked the biases that I have, those are pretty close to the biases that I use, right? So again, keeping my left arm straight, going back about halfway, and going through, and I get a pretty consistent result. Sometimes it goes a little left, sometimes it goes a little right. But what you're trying to do is, you can see right there, that pin, we'll look at that, we can look at that pin, right? So if we're looking at this green, we can see, hey, I've got room behind, I got room to the right, I got room to the left. Now, if your pin was over here on the left-hand side, say you get that water in the trouble, you're probably going to aim more about the middle of the green, right? So what we're trying to do is, especially if you're in the early weeks or even month or so, you know, one of the harder aspects of the game is the chipping, the sand play, and all that stuff. So your best friend is to be on the green, right? So again, lining back up. Now you may play, if you look at the club, your normal swing, you may like the face closed. You may like it open. The point is, find an alignment on the back of the ball. Okay? I like this right here, right? Whether it's square or not, it looks square to me, and that's what the important part is. And then I'm going to keep my left arm straight. Go back only as far as my left arm straight will let me go. And now you can see I'm hitting some balls right there at the pin. Now, as you get better at this, you know, if that pin's on the left-hand side, you know, we'll take the same swing. See, pin's on the left-hand side. I can be a little more aggressive at it. So I wasn't aiming at the flag on that one. I was aiming at that left side. So if the pin was really tucked in the left, you know, I got about a 10 or 12 foot putt. Now, obviously there's danger over there, right? So if I go too far left, if I go, oops, I accidentally pulled it, which I didn't on that one, but if I did, that might be perfect for the green, right, where the pin was. But in that rare case where maybe I had the face closed a little bit, and I accidentally pull, I'm like, oops, I pulled it. Didn't mean to, but that's in the water, right? So what we're trying to do at this point is we're trying to get you to where you can aim at the center of the green, right? Swing, and, you know, hit it 8-9 times out of 10, right? Be on the green, be putting. So again, you come out here, come out to the range, hit you some shots, you know, take your time, get the club like you want it, do the same swing, same follow through every time. Like I said, you're going to have the anomalies, but what I like to do when I'm in the tuning process is I'll hit somewhere between 3 and 5 shots, and I'll kind of say, okay, what's my average, right? Now, if you're hitting 3 to 5 shots and you're spraying them all over the place, you know, maybe work on the swing a little bit. Figure out something that's going to get you the similar result every time, right? Pay attention to, you know, where your club head is, closed, open, you know, whatever is comfortable for you. Put it on there. Swing the same speed every time. All right, so you can see I've got a range of probably 10 yards left to right. And for an amateur, for me, that's fine. I'm going to have fun. right? Now, when I first started playing the game, I get on the course, and maybe I would do that, and then the very next shot I'd try and compensate, and I'd do that, right? I mean, I can't have any fun like that, right? So, again, I tried to find I kind of put together some things I found on the internet, but kind of what I'm explaining to you now is what I figured out worked the best for me, right? So I'm going to find it. I'm going to find a consistent swing that's going to give me a spray of about 10 yards left to right, because I'm going to be happy with that. Now, you'll see some people out there who have a spray of a yard every time, who are, shooting 15 under on courses and stuff like that. My guess is those folks are probably playing, 6 to 8 rounds a day. And, with muscle memory and things like that, if you're playing that much, you'll probably eventually get there too. But, I've been playing for, at the point in this video, I've been playing for, I don't know, 2.5 months. Probably played 35 rounds. I usually play once or twice a week, play a few rounds. So, I'm pretty happy with what I've got here, right? So when I pay attention, I look at my target, line myself up to where I think I'm at the target, put the club head, open or close, whatever makes me feel comfortable, keep my left arm straight, do my normal swing, and I like the result, right? Take your time, and then when you're like, hey, I think I got it, after 3 or 5 swings, same kind of thing. You go, okay, I think I might have it. Hit 5 to 10 more. And if you're doing exactly what I'm doing here, 5 to 10 yard spread, and you think you've got it, okay, that's 3 shots. I'm not going to do, 10 more for this video, but they're pretty good shots, right? I'm going to have decent makeable birdie putts. So let's say I go, okay, I've got my 7-iron tuned, right? I like it. So I'm going to go back to the settings, go to my swing. I'm going to go, okay, I like this, right? So I'm going to leave this here. Now what you want to do is what I would recommend for all your other clubs. Your driver, your 3-wood, 5-wood might be a little different, but maybe start with lob wedge, sand wedge, pitching wedge. Set every club you have with the same spin bias and the same pull, and repeat the process. Now you're going to adjust clubs along the way. Your 6-iron, you might have a little less draw bias, right? Your 5-iron, my 4-iron's the same. 3-iron, I got a little more draw bias. 5-wood, no, but 3-wood, the way I swing with the 3-wood, I put a little more on it. Helps me out. Driver, a little less, right? So when you're back further away from the ball, normally your pitch and wedge swing and your driver swing, if you've ever played real golf, are not the same swings, right? It's kind of the same in Golf Plus, not as pronounced as you would see, not as pronounced as you would see in real golf. But you're standing farther away from the ball. Your swing plane, just because this is VR and the way you're looking at it, you're probably gonna see it that way. So again, start with, say, a 7-iron or 6-iron, 5-iron, 5 to 7-iron, somewhere in there. I like the 7-iron because the 7-iron is long enough, but it's also got a good height to it, right? So that kind of helps you get a good baseline. So as you go through your swing settings and work on each club, now when you move to the 6-iron, and we come and we do the same thing, we do the same swing. You might say, ooh, and I hit that a little to the right on purpose. You may go, ooh, I'm hitting this. You're like, ooh, I'm hitting it a little more to the right. That's about 5 yards to the right of where I would like to see it, but it's consistent, right? Now, there's an anomaly that goes right at it, but look, you can see it's fading a little bit, right? It's fading a little bit. I'm going to hit a 4th one here. Okay, you're like, oh, stay still to the right. So I'm peppering that right center part of the green. I'm going to go into the 6-iron settings, and I'm going to go, let me do a little more pull. And if it's fading and you don't really want the fade, maybe say I'm going to do maybe a little more draw bias. Right? And so, you don't have to, that first club you work on, it could take you 30 minutes, it could take you 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, depending on how well you want to tune it. But then when you get to the other clubs, you're probably going to be hitting, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 shots, do a little adjustment. Another 3 or 4 shots, tiny adjustment. Another 3 or 4 shots, and you'll probably be like, oh, this feels good. You'll hit another 5 to 10. You're still getting the results you want. Okay, that one's tuned to move on. So you're not going to spend a whole lot of time to them. So, this is going to make the game a lot funner. I mean, you can see this peppering here, right? This was once I got to the point where my normal tuning works. You can see what I'm doing here, right? You can also look at the advanced, and you can look at things like how much speed. You can look at all these different factors and see what am I doing. You can look at this after each shot if you've got time, and see see what's going on and see if you like what you see, right? I don't personally care. I'm not good enough probably to care about these. Catch up with me in 6 months. Maybe I'm paying a lot more attention to these because I'm at the point where I'm super fine tuning. But remember, here's what we're trying to do. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're new to the game. Doing what I just explained, how I explained it, you're going to go out and you're going to play. And you're going to be, you're going to hit 12 to 14 greens. Probably pretty, right? Maybe even more. You're going to have a lot of birdie putts. You're going to have, you're going to be at par or breaking par, pretty early on. Now, as you get better, you may notice some things that maybe I didn't cover in this video, some things that work for you to make some minor adjustments. But again, our goal here is to get you hitting the ball pretty much straight, pretty much at your target line, and then you're going to start having a lot of fun playing Golf Plus, right? And that's where we want to be. We don't want you going out there shooting 20 over par and not wanting to play because you're like, oh, just I can't ever hit a shot, and I'm always in the woods or sand or water or wherever. Let's get you to where you're playing good golf, get you to be a scratch golfer. So just follow those instructions, do that, and I think you'll find when you go out and you start playing, you'll shoot much better. And like I said, once you're on the course, you might notice, ooh, hey, I'm hitting a lot of my irons a little left. So maybe come back out to the practice range, make some more adjustments and fine tune it as you go along. But it won't take you near as long. And eventually you're going to get to the point where you're like, hey, I'm playing pretty well. Now I need to really dig in and start working on the small things. So maybe that's for another video, but I appreciate you watching, and I hope that was helpful for you to get your tunes clubbed. Thank you.